This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast from Collinsville. It is the Expo podcast, and three of the four of us are in the room. Justin had other things come up, could not make it here, so I wish we had a cardboard cutout we could have put in the chair. But we do have Paul and Wade here, and holy crap, this room has more color in it, and a just a variety of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat to see it be a little different than the normal show. And this is kind of what the goal has always been, is to make it, a little bit more of a variety. It's great that Paul and Monica were able to make it in. We've got three of the foursome intact, so it's pretty cool. And it's a nice full room, a nice little venue here, and pleasure to have
gorgeous. Everybody's loving it. The bar is awesome. Cool. Speaking of course, we had to start the show. I got an old fashioned because if we're gonna do a show, I'll have to bring mix for October just so I can have one while we're in the room there. Yeah. Yes, have my old fashioned. I don't know what bourbon's in it, so I can't plug that, but it is absolutely phenomenal. So cheers everybody that's watching this later. And of course, I do not have the puck with me. I apologize to show off for the drink your face off line. We have to advertise him even while we're
always
here.
In spirit.
So thank you, Mitch. We do miss you out here as well. I know we're trying to get here and things just didn't work. But hey, October or something, maybe we can make it work out, get you out here. But we miss everybody that could not be here.
Absolutely.
You're here in spirit. But this room, I mean, walking around, seeing the number of colleges the jerseys that people have, and just everything. Every time I walk around a room, I see something I didn't the first time. Yeah. The Blues, and we'll have them on in a bit. Tyler's here from Rinkside Reserve. Nick has some other things going, so he sent Tyler and brought some phenomenal stuff. So we got Binner gloves, Hofer pads, a bunch of different sticks, Winter Classic jerseys.
Yeah, it's a great variety of stuff that they bring as always, and nice to have them join. And then just like I said, the amount of stuff around the room is fantastic. So
yeah, funny. In the first 10 minutes of them setting up, I think we bought about half their table between a bunch of us.
That always happens.
Yeah. So Paul, what do you think about being down here in the area?
Oh, this is great. Monica and I flew in on Wednesday, and made it out here to Illinois, and it was ridiculously early flight, 7:30 out of San Jose in the morning, passing through Long Beach to here. And then Wade gave us a great tour of the area Wednesday night.
We had a giant bottle of ketchup.
Yes. Giant bottle of ketchup, which we actually have a painting of in our hotel room. Yeah. And so
I think that's the law. If you're in Collinsville, every building has to have at least one picture.
When they got into town, it's required that I had to take them by.
Yes.
If I don't, I get in trouble. So yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah. So we got to see, the highlight there. And then Thursday we headed downtown for the Frozen Four. And Monica was smart on this. She's just walking by right now with another.
Yes, on camera, so anybody that doesn't know what Monica looks like now they do.
Yeah. And of course we're in Michigan, go blue. So we wake up Thursday and we're gonna come downtown here to get some lunch, then head down to it. But no, Monica's just like, I'm starting to get nervous. Let's head downtown now. And the bar we went to, what was the name of it?
Maggie O'Brien.
Maggie O'Brien is what you recommend. Huge bar, great food, great drinks, everything. It was packed. We got like the last two seats available at the bar. Met a bunch of the Western Michigan former players who were all in town there. The band was there, cheerleaders. It was just a great time. And then we head over to the game, and very happy to see Western win.
Yeah.
And it's watch.
That was a double overtime.
That was a double overtime. Yeah.
Thriller.
Yes. And strangely keep running into people we know from San Jose who, I guess I forgot they were going to be here.
Halfway across the country to see people you see every weekend.
Yeah. And it was just, it's the Frozen Four. If you haven't been to it, it's so much fun. Yeah. And it was just a great time. And we're going to go to the championship game tonight. We don't have tickets yet. So
that's what StubHub's for.
Yeah, we're going to get them. We had great seats on Thursday. We're 11 rows off the ice on the blue line.
Oh wow.
It was just super nice. Section 104.
But
Hopefully we
it
get
was
there.
crazy though, because on StubHub you'd look, and if you just wanted to go, you could get the high end seats for $8 and watch 2 games.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's cheap as hell.
Well, it was almost 3 games, but
Well, right.
yeah. So,
that you definitely got your money's worth in there.
Oh yeah.
And then we came up, my wife and I, Carrie, came up yesterday to give you the other part of the St. Louis tour. Wade was indisposed because funny how work seems to happen.
Always happens.
But we visited the zoo, so Monica could see her turtles. We pet the stingrays. That was cool.
Fun. Yeah.
And then watched a kid almost jump in with the stingrays, which was funny.
Yeah.
And
No,
then-
I'm chatting with one of the guys who works there, and all of a sudden he's like, just bolts away. It's like, what I say, it's like, and he's going after, this kid who's walking on the railing there. And I'm guessing he was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And I thought for sure he was going in. It's like, which will
Start taping for YouTube at that point.
yeah.
Get the camera out quick. And then ended up down at the Arch. It was funny because early in the week I was talking to Paul, sorting out everything and looking at tickets. There was only tickets for basically 3 o'clock on. Everything else was sold out. It makes sense why. We got down there, and I hadn't been since they redid the Arch grounds. We went inside the building, and there are hockey logos from universities everywhere.
Really?
And I mean, from God, what was one of the big groups we saw that?
Shockingly, both North Dakota and the Gophers, Minnesota. Lot from both teams who are not
huge
here.
Groups of people, but
very cool.
Check that out. And then, of course, rode up in the tiny little eggs for anybody that has not seen the inside of the Arch. These little tiny egg things with 5 seats, and it was tight with 4 of us.
That's for you, not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to emphasize the word tiny.
Well, and they had in the lobby, they actually have one you can sit in to kind of see. And it seems like that one's bigger than the ones we sat in.
It was because they don't close the door on it.
Yes.
That's so it felt a little bit better that way. When the doors close, at least there's glass.
Yeah.
So you can see, you can see out. If honestly, if that would have been like totally enclosed, I would probably have been walking down.
What did they say? 1,100 steps, the inside of the Arch, but 4-minute ride up to the top in this tiny egg to 630 feet.
Yeah.
And I forgot how small it was up there.
Yeah. It's not roomy.
But it's cool. We got to see the Cardinals were doing batting practice.
Yeah.
You could see it out the window.
Very cool.
And just a great day. And of course we got back, got the group together who people that had made it in town, had a little dinner and just caught up. Then we sat in the lobby. Of course, the lobby of the hotel is full of baseball or soccer moms and dads.
Oh yeah.
Drunk off their ass.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And there we were with pulling jerseys out of the bag. We were showing kind of some of the stuff people brought, different things like that. But it's just playing catch up because we, as much as I talked to Paul and with the podcast, everything else, we hadn't seen each other in 11 years.
Yeah.
We were looking at the last Frozen Four Expo was 11 years ago in Chicago.
Yeah. It's really cool.
That came up at dinner is how often we all talk, but how little we get to see. A lot of us get to see each other. But
absolutely.
it was just so much fun to just catch up, and then kind of went to bed early, and we're here at 8 a.m. to set up. And dude, you found and the reason it's not at the hotel for anybody that wasn't aware of that is there's other events going on. It was booked. You knocked it out of the park with the setup.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic just building setup, and you guys. Well, I won't be able to pan the camera around, but there'll be a bunch of pictures posted. Paul's taken some excellent shots, but it is the perfect space for this. We got a nice mix of table types, and just everybody's having a ball. Came in and the setup, it took no time at all.
It's a group effort, and I'm thankful for you guys. And it's neat. It's neat to always take that minute and look around, and it's cool to see everybody enjoying our hobby. That's what matters most.
And you've got the card shop right across the hall.
Yeah.
You've got the bar across the hall. And we've all found the bar.
Everybody likes the bar, and the food here is fantastic. And
we're looking for the giant pretzels shortly.
Yeah, no kidding. So,
and it is a Frozen Four theme. When we do an expo at the Frozen Four, it has to be at a bar.
Yeah.
So I mean, both
the
of them,
new rule.
both of them have been, 2 for 2, and we'll do it. Hopefully, we do Las Vegas.
I think there's
next year.
bars in Las Vegas.
We may be able to find one. We have an idea for one.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard the rumor is we're going to run out the giant ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
Sphere?
host it inside the
Sphere?
Sphere. Yeah.
I don't know.
Rent out.
I don't know if we'll be all selling enough tables.
Yeah, I think the going rate, especially during that time, might be a
Yeah.
little high,
Yeah.
but start getting details of that out there. But yeah, I mean, just looking around the room is the amount of Boston jerseys and Michigan State, Maine,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Thank you.
I was getting to there.
Okay.
I could have left it out,
Yeah.
but and then just the mix of NHL and minor league stuff too. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
It's fun.
I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Team USA Miracle on Ice setup over there is fantastic.
Oh, well, and a
Brian's-
follow up to that, I checked in with him as he got stuff set. He now has a stick from
Forever,
every
yeah.
player.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
We'd
completed.
interviewed him last year. I think he was 2 off, and between October and now, he got the.
Brian's a
last 2
great
in.
guy.
Yeah.
Neat to see his display.
It is gorgeous with that, and it's getting everybody together. The number of people that have just randomly come in
Yeah.
or had seen it from posts online or different things aren't big collectors yet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just the amount of talking and dealing that's already happened, and the number of sharks things that you've
Yeah.
talked about already.
Amazing how
Paul.
much Paul and Monica were able to pack and bring out here. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Well, they came on their own plane. So
Yeah. Hey, the Southwest, 100
Yeah.
pounds of jerseys. So,
That's awesome.
and we're probably going to go back with 150 pounds of jerseys.
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
maybe not that much, but it's
Uh,
we've already
we'll
added
try and get you close to that.
we've added more than I expected. And
But Wade, what's the most interesting or shocking piece you've seen walking around here?
Man, it's tough to say. There's so much good stuff. I mean, I think the neatest thing is seeing some of the college displays, just because that's stuff that doesn't really show up normally at our shows. So that's been really, really cool. Just there was a Harvard jersey over there that's fantastic. The detail on it's really nice. Just a lot of really, really nice stuff. The eclecticness of the room is great. So that one's probably just when you asked me, that's the first one that jumped out at me. So
Yeah,
pretty
no,
cool.
I get that completely, because you're right. It's
Yeah.
just not things that we don't see at these shows, and it doesn't mean that come October, people won't bring those things again.
Rick almost got us.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Oh, and more sticks going by. Good.
Yep.
yeah,
Commerce is happening.
right.
So,
And it means, again, I talked to Tyler, caught up with him a bit ago. It means so much that the Blues
yeah.
have come and brought things, and I know we've talked about it with the other teams coming and stuff, but make those friends and get them here.
Rick Hackerman, everyone. Rick.
Right. Yeah, Rick on camera there.
Yeah.
So anybody that
Yeah.
doesn't know who Rick's been a collector for a really long time.
Yeah.
I think he collected from Abraham Lincoln's
that.
first hockey team. But
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Rick Ackerman, ladies. and
Ackerman.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Up
Rick,
close and personal with Rick Hackerman.
But it's just been so cool to catch up with that
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna start throwing dollar bills
Yeah, no.
next.
Rick and I already had a trade this morning.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's still morning here.
Right.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
And this is just a 1-day show. Normally,
Yeah.
when you see us doing the expos in October, is a 2-day deal.
Yeah.
But with the Frozen Four happening tonight, and I know there'll be pictures
Yeah, for sure.
posted from there once we go to those events. But it's just been so cool. I mean, even last minute guys deciding to come up and
Yeah, it's been fun to see a lot of people and be involved. I'm gonna scoot because I need to walk around.
no, you're
You
not allowed to
guys-
do that.
So,
But no, we're gonna grab different people from tables and stuff, interview them, have them come on, different collectors.
Yeah.
But, I hope everybody kind of enjoys the podcast. We'll make sure we have some great video and so you can put some faces with names. And it's nice to get 3 of the 4 of us together
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
room.
Yes,
I know at some point we will have Justin here, so it will be all 4 of the OGs, as
Yeah,
it were. And
it'd be
again,
great.
we're not knocking anybody else that comes on our show on the regular, but
the regulars.
yes.
So no, that's cool.
But no, we'll do some more looping around and grab some people and interview them throughout the day, and then go off and watch a NCAA championship
there we go.
tonight.
We can still bug Justin, see if he wants to hop on a plane,
Yeah, no,
get
yeah.
down here.
Yeah,
I think
so.
he's heard that a little bit lately.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
he deserves every bit of it. But yep,
Yeah.
Keep enjoying the podcast, and you'll see some interviews come up here in a bit.
Thanks, guys.
So we're back with a different group this time. She has not been on the podcast in, what am I thinking? Probably we're celebrating our 10th anniversary next Thursday. And we did under the GameWarn.us or GameWarn Radio podcast. Kari was actually on talking about. So that's pushing 9 years.
9 years, probably 9 years. Yes.
My wife Kari, and then everybody who's also seeing this, of course, Monica, Paul's wife, who is a collector. My wife, I got lucky, is not a game worn collector, things like that. But when I met her, she had been for multiple years Peoria Riverman season ticket holder, right up against the bench. So she was flirted on by the coaches and players and those kind of things. And she knew the Rivermen did their sale and stuff. So she had an understanding of the game worn hobby, at least either buying it to play and use or to collect. I mean, she knew jerseys and things like that. So I got very lucky in meeting her and her having an immediate understanding of what this was, because otherwise I'd be in deep shit.
Not true. I took you as you were, babe.
But so this is your first expo. I disappear on the weekends in October, and I send you pictures and talk to you a bit, and you're at home doing whatever things you're doing. What do you think of now being here?
This is amazing. People from all over the country are here sharing their love and passion of this hobby. I'm amazed at the thought that some people have put into it, where one gentleman brought just jerseys of NHL players who went to the colleges that are in the Frozen Four, because the Frozen Four is being played this weekend. To me, that is amazing thought put into this. Just the camaraderie, the friendships people have made. I'm amazed.
And Monica, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you've gone to Germany for shows. You were just at the expo, the Kings,
LA.
Yep, the LA Expo. Thank you. Of course, you guys' own that you host. So you're old hat at this. How's it feel being in the Midwest for one?
Well, as a Midwestern girl myself, it's so nice to be back and have where I can just hug people and them not look at me like I'm cray cray.
It's funny you mentioned that, and I'll rat him out because he said that in a phone call Wednesday night. Wade called me after he dropped you guys off the hotel. He was heading home, and again, he talked to you when we were doing the podcast, and you popped in the background. Or I know he's talked to you at other points, but never met you. And he's like, "Yeah, and Monica's a hugger." I'm like, "Oh, I'm already aware of that from 11 years ago." I'm like, that's not news to me, but he's like, "Yeah, she's a big hugger." I'm like, "Good."
And I just have to correct you. Kari was actually at the Chicago Expo.
Yes,
I was.
Yes.
Before you guys were married. I think it was right after you guys got engaged. And Kari has been one of my friends ever since, and I just
shows my
love
memory.
Her. It's okay. It's okay.
But it's when it's 11 years apart, it's hard.
It is, but your wife is so amazing that she's forever in my heart.
She puts up with me because Rinkside, when they got here and set everything up, she just looked at me and goes, "No." And then I bought stuff anyway.
I was going to say, you can see how well that turned out.
5 minutes later, I'm walking stuff over to our table.
Okay, I bought one too, though. So
see, yeah, and that was actually a surprise. I did not know you were a fan of Oscar Sundquist. And,
yep, for at least 7 years. I just love him.
And
I love the way he plays.
Not a fan.
I am not a fan of his.
It's okay.
She was
This
sad.
is going to be our first fight.
No judges, lovey.
She was sad when I got the Winter Classic jersey from this year. I got the photo shoot ones, which is the team sold. That's who I ended up with, just for pricing wise and that. I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, but I mean,
I said of all the people on the team.
But you know what? He had some of the best photo shoots from the night they were doing the skate around and the team photos. He dressed like one of the Hanson brothers and did a bunch of things. So all the best pictures, he's in the jersey that I own.
To be fair, I've never met the man, so I can't just say I don't care for him as a person. Just as a hockey player, he's not my favorite.
Well, I love him, and
he's going up in my book now.
I just have to say, I'm trying to keep this PG because that's the way that Doc likes to keep it, and that's really hard for me. So he's not the best hockey player, but I just love the way he plays hockey. When he's on the ice, he gives 110%. He's just not a superstar. And I love the players that aren't necessarily superstars. Oscar Sundquist, if you're hearing this, I'm so sorry, dear.
I'll
But
try to share it with the team.
well, yeah, but I just love the way you play though, because you're all heart, and
And he's become a big fan favorite in St. Louis because he's always out at different events that have nothing to do with the Blues. You'll see him in the summer. I believe his wife's from here, or his girlfriend's from here. He just really ingratiated himself in the community, and that's why so many people fell in love with him. He went away, and people were so sad the Blues picked him back up, and it was just crazy.
I know. I was so sad when he left the Red Wings, but then he came back here, and I was happy with that.
It balanced out. Now you're going home with one of his jerseys. So, I mean, Monica, you have jerseys go through your hands in your house all the time. What's something that you've seen here today that just blows you away?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I try to get that sometimes.
Hey, that's what she said.
While she's thinking about that, I'm going to say that my favorite is Monica's Obama jersey. And if Monica wants to tell the story about how she came about that Obama jersey, it's a Yale College Barack Obama hockey jersey, and it is amazing.
Thank you. It was one of the craziest things that when Yale won the national or Frozen Four, I guess it would have been.
Yeah. NCAA tournament.
Yep. The tournament. They were invited to the White House, and Barack Obama was president. And the team was only allowed to bring in one jersey, but they had made up two for him. So they brought in the white jersey, and the blue jersey never made it inside the White House. So it had to stay outside. And I don't want to say too much because I know that there's going to be some haters out that don't like Barack Obama as president, but and that's how we ended up getting the jersey, because there were haters out there, and the Yale equipment manager we didn't have that, so we just gave love about the jersey and thought it was awesome and an awesome story, and that's how we ended up with the jersey.
Regardless of politics, is just things like that of these jerseys made up for White House visits or other special things that then end up in the hands of collectors is so cool. Is it's a different story. It's a one piece thing that nobody else will ever have.
Right, and that's the one jersey I wasn't expecting to see today that I got to see.
Yeah, it's not always game worn or normal things. It's those oddball pieces made up for whatever reason. I mean, I drug you over to the 80s Olympic stand just to show you the entire collection of the 80s,
which is amazing,
gold medal winner sticks.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So one of the favorite things is just seeing all the jerseys that I didn't even know existed. Like you were talking about the Obama jerseys. I'm not sure exactly what they are from Wade, but they're the coolest, weirdest, awesomest
Springfield
jerseys.
Isotope.
Yeah, I think
that's the Springfield Thunderbirds, the Blues AHL affiliate. Every year, and even before they were the Blues affiliate, they were doing, because they're Springfield, were doing the Simpsons Isotope style, because that's anybody who's not seen the Simpsons television show, that's their sports team. And they've done them in different look. They did some neon greens ones with a three-eyed fish, because that's been a big joke in the show. They've done ones that look like the donuts, and they did one year it looked like Bart's hair on the front of it. And every year those are a huge draw, and they do everything. The hats, they do locker room nameplates all around whatever that design is, and they're just so sharp. And I like when East Coast Hockey League AHL teams do stuff like that where it's out of the norm, and they're so sharp and different. I wish the NHL would do more of that.
I totally agree with you on that. And the thing that was so shocking to me is I feel like I'm really in the know, right? And then when you think you're in the know and then you're still shocked by stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, those are so awesome. I love those. I'm like, it brings so much joy to me that the creativity of the hockey and I just have to say, whenever I see something like that so out of the box, I just feel the love and it just makes me happy.
Well, and all this fabric in this room has brought all of us together, and we've been friends for, I mean, way more than 11 years from the last time we saw each other in person. But we just keep making friends, and we, like I talked earlier in the podcast, we all went out to dinner last night and caught up, and just it's been so much fun just to spend time together. And we'll get through the show today, and most of us, if not all, will end up at the Frozen Four tonight. We'll end up there. I've never seen a college game before.
Never?
Where we're at in Springfield, there's no college hockey nearby. We didn't, when we were 11 years ago, we drove back from Chicago because our kids were 11 years younger at the time, not with their own cars and stuff like they are now. But so we came home. So this would be the first time we've ever been to a college hockey game.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. I did not realize that.
We have hockey clubs around us, but not
closest university is
teams.
U of I Champaign, but they're only club hockey. They tried to go Division I and didn't for whatever reason. They couldn't get the money to do a new stadium because their stuff needs upgraded. So they're still just club hockey. Lindenwood's the next closest down here in St. Louis area. But yeah, we have a junior team in town, which is fine. And of course, we have as I've talked about, the Bloomington Bison East Coast team, which is 40 minutes north of us, but no college level hockey.
Wisconsin or Notre Dame are probably the closest.
Yeah, of that level.
Awesome.
And I don't want to drive to either one of those places. Funny though, is one of the guys I was talking to is wearing I think it's a 60s era Notre Dame championship, NCAA championship hockey ring.
Wow.
I mean, just on his hand. Yeah. Just weird stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a jersey, but it's still tied to hockey. And just walking around the room and the number of messages I have, but hey, I saw Wade posted this picture. Can you go look at this thing for me? People reaching out who can't make it or out of the area, couldn't get here. We'll gladly go do that because we'll help whoever's selling it. Doesn't have to be here.
Yeah.
And one of us will pick up the getting it shipped to them or negotiating the deal. We don't mind doing that.
Yeah, we already picked up a jersey for one of our SoCal friends. So
there you go.
We have no problem.
I know.
It's love.
When Paul was on earlier talking about that you're going to need a 4th suitcase.
Probably.
Yeah. Hey, that's why you don't bring a full 4, so you can have one to go back just with all the stuff you pick up. And I know Paul's made a few deals already, and I hope all of us today make some kind of deal, come home with something we didn't have when we got here.
Oh.
But I'm glad you enjoyed your trip. Paul's first trip to the Midwest, probably, right?
Well, no. Paul grew up in the Midwest.
See, I was thinking you guys were both West Coasters.
No.
See, shows what I know.
That's okay. So Paul was born in Jersey.
Okay, so far East Coast then.
Yeah. And then he went, they moved to Ohio.
I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, me too. I'll talk slowly for the Ohio fans. I hope that wasn't too offensive.
Never.
But I'll talk extra slow then. So he grew up right outside of Columbus and then went to undergrad in Cincinnati. And then how we had a connection as he went to the University of Michigan for a grad school. And then we met.
That's the reason you love Michigan.
Well, as
She's
a
from
Michigander, I love Michigan. But meeting him was the bonus sauce.
There you
but
go.
Yes, in San Jose, well, actually Los Gatos, California, I met Paul watching Michigan football at 9:00 in the morning. So
See, that's a story I didn't know till just now.
Yeah.
But again, it's these kind of things that come out during these expos. That's why we tell you all to get to them or start your own. If you're in an area where you're not going to be able to attend one, start one. This room has originally when talking to Wade early on, we thought we might have 10 tables. We're pushing 20. And because we had some guys decide the last minute, yep, I'm packing my stuff and coming up. Awesome. And I know we had to have some guys canceled for different family obligations. We totally get it. We'll see you in October or see you at the next one you can make. But do it, start it, whatever you can to get a bunch of people together. Like, if it's in a back room of a bar or this is a side entertainment space of a bar, find something like that. It's not an expensive place, especially during the day on a Saturday to get. Do it. Advertise, go to local card shops, things like that. Across the hall from where we are is a card shop. Wade has talked to that guy a ton and he was excited about it. I mean, just all of this is reasons why to get together and hang out. I mean, we've had such a good time. Got at dinner last night at the place we at. We're waiting to go back to our table and we're watching the people cut a 7-layer cake. We all should have brought some of that home, but it just things like that. We're cracking up watching these people carry these giant 7-layer cakes, cutting them up. But it was so much fun to go take you and Paul sightseeing, as I mentioned earlier, interviewing Paul as well, and just spending time together and catching up. And then we'll go all watch the game tonight and go our separate ways. But we'll tell these stories then going forward
forever.
Absolutely.
So it's again.
Doc, can I say something?
Well, of course, you have a microphone.
Well, I didn't want to cut off, but it doesn't matter if there's 2 or 4 of you. Get together small and build it up.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be huge because the love and the stories that you get from those small things. So Mitch, Paul and I would go and hit up the pizza place and then we'd post it and other people would come and we didn't even know they were collectors. Then the stories that you get from each personal experience of meeting someone, why they how they got started, and it's just amazing. And I don't know. I was telling Kari earlier today, since I've been collecting, most of my best friends are now from this hobby. I'm it's just absolutely amazing. And if you want to come visit San Jose, California, hit us up.
Special group of people for sure.
It's all about the people.
Definitely. As Paul walks by on camera with his it looks like a very tasty beer. We have all enjoyed our bourbons and beers and stuff this weekend, and that's part of it too. Is just have a drink together, chill, and just have a good time. I mean, it's funny just seeing people continue to make loops around the room. I'm harassing a friend of mine who lives down in St. Louis area as a collector. Texted me, he's like, "Hey, are you at the expo?" I'm like, "Well, duh." And I said, "When are you coming?" "Oh, I'm eating lunch right now." I said, "When are you leaving? Get over here." I said, "They have," because he saw the posts and stuff online. I'm like, "Get here. You collect goalie stuff. There's a lot of that here." I said, he's like, "I'm afraid I might buy something." So what?
I have a question. So how many years did you do the expo before the Blues actually got involved and had their own table?
Actually, I think it was only a year before. Wade had done some small ones, but the true St. Louis Expo that we do at the Collinsville Hotel. I think the year before that, we had done it, and then we started talking to Nick Gay from Rinkside Reserve with the St. Louis Blues. Saying, "Hey, we'd love to team up with you. We'd love for you guys to come out." And of course, we bug him at any game that either Wade or I, or even especially if we're together, go up and see their booth and talk to him and stuff. And oh yeah, we'll come out. And it was funny because we always set up early in the morning. He got here that day before the show opened to the public and walked in, and his eyes just got huge because you can tell non-collectors, oh yeah, this is what we do and this is the kind of stuff we'll see. But until you walk in that room and just see the amount, and it's even last year, which was the second year that Rinkside had been there, he saw jerseys that he didn't know existed of the Blues. Back in, I believe it was 03, 04, the Blues wore, not just the Blues, but the original. So many teams wore the vintage sets. It was, they had both a home and away set, had the big V on the chest. I can't remember how many total teams had it. I know the Kings and some others did. He only thought there was I think it was a blue home version. He had never seen the white version out there.
Wow.
So we were able to, one of the people had it hanging on a rack. He was able to see that. So just things like that, even impressing somebody who is in the business for a team, not being able to see or not knowing what all their own stuff existed. So yeah, we've really been, as I told Tyler, who's here with us today, and as I send them emails asking questions or following up stuff, is, hey, we appreciate how much you support us. And Tyler's like, oh yeah, I've watched different podcasts you guys have done, and we want the upper blues people to understand that what kind this relationship and what it means that they support this, because they don't have to come out here. And I know the Kings were out, and the Sharks were out at your guys's, and it's great to make those connections and get those teams to understand. Look, it's great that you're in the arena and you're selling these stuff, but come to these, because some people that may not be able to make it to games or know that this stuff is available, okay, now you can move it at a show. And it's getting out in the community to also meet other collectors that may be blues collectors that aren't here. Because with the online auctions that all teams have, your collectors aren't just from your area. I mean, it's just, it opens up the door to so much more, but it really does mean a lot. And Wade earlier this year, and I'm going to follow up after this event, has emailed the VP, who is Nick Gay and Tyler's boss, saying, hey, we really appreciate how much you guys do for us and helping us out. And it really does mean a lot, because we don't say want to take advantage of that or anything. We want that relationship, because it's so cool to have. We're talking to Tyler. It's like, we love putting this stuff together, and I'd emailed, hey, do you mind if you have it, these kind of things? He brought what he could of the things I asked for. And they didn't have to do that, but it's so neat to know that the team is here.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing.
And I hope,
It's a partnership.
I hope the Kings and I hope the Sharks understand that as well, and say, I know Paul's lucky enough every year, and we hype it big, is being able to go to the equipment sale beforehand and shoot the pictures and things like that. And we're trying to get the Blues to let us do that this year and going forward, because it's a PR thing both ways.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
For sure.
And just seeing, like, one of my favorite things is we all collect game-worn hockey jerseys, but we all have a different focus.
Yep.
So some of us might have a focus of, like we do as University of Michigan players. So you can see our rack, and we have tons of different jerseys. It's not just Sharks. It's not just Red Wings. It's not just, because we have a wide array of things that we're interested in, and hearing why you care is awesome.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And I mean, Kari and I are both diehard Blues fans, always have been, hate the Hawks, the whole bit. But with Pete G being here and bringing some of the Hawks he has brought and the rare pieces, I still appreciate those, even though I hate the team itself. But seeing what they're doing to their jerseys and seeing the Roniks and things like that, even though I'm not a fan of the Hawks,
jersey,
they're still, it's so cool to see what they've done on them, things like that. I'm never gonna, even if I hate the team, I appreciate what they're doing with their jerseys.
Exactly.
Well, and to see some of our players who haven't stayed with the Blues and have moved on, to see their jerseys from other teams and, possibly collect those as well, as Monica does, get you that wide array of jerseys in your collection. So it's not all, two colors.
Even though maize and blue are the most beautiful colors.
Hey, at one time I owned a Michigan jersey. I sold it, but I did at least have a Dazzle Cloth Michigan. And I think it was even in the yellow, if I remember correctly. But
I think you meant maize.
Yes, like the dog, for anybody that doesn't know. But it's crazy to see, because even the several people have stuff from the I think it was the IHL. It was during the 0405 lockout. The Blues went and played for one of the local IHL teams, and there's several of their jerseys with, I think, 3 different collectors here today. And it's crazy to see that. I mean, there's I'm staring across the room at an all-star jersey. It is this room. I would hate to go around and like figure out what the total value is of this room right now because it's insane.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
again, it's I wanted to, and I want to do yet a future podcast to bring both you two on and some of the other spouses of collectors and kind of get their opinions because it's funny again from you, Monica, who are deep into this, to Kari, which when a package shows up at the porch, oh great, what's that one?
Well, the kids and I had a joke when they were little. I said, if another roll of hockey tape comes in this house, we are wrapping daddy in it.
For a while, that reference goes back to pro stock hockey, especially more now. I used to buy a lot of equipment through them. Now they're getting a lot of the teams overstock jerseys. We've covered it on past podcasts where they've had New York Rangers game-worn jerseys and stuff. Well, every order you get, they send with a 3-pack of tape. Well, it seemed like I was constantly buying stuff from
There
them.
was hockey tape everywhere in our house. And I said, if another roll comes in this house, you're getting wrapped in it. And the kids got so excited every time a package showed up. Is there hockey tape in it? Is there hockey tape in it? Can we wrap daddy in it?
They still say that.
They still say that, and they're, 17 and 19.
But it's all just the fun part of it. And I mean, we're lucky to be historians with this stuff, and we may not always own the pieces or different things, but it's all hockey history at some level or another. We were even talking yesterday, having drinks last evening after dinner, about, I can't remember what player it was, but it was somebody that was up in training camp or the jersey was made. They played one game, never played again. And talking about people wanting to strip that. Well, that person ended up with that jersey because it didn't get stripped. So it's not just,
it's preserving the history.
Right. And it's not just, it doesn't have to, something big doesn't have to happen in it. Somebody made one NHL game
but that's huge.
Right. For that person. Right.
But I haven't ever played. So anyone that made a game, it's huge.
Yep.
It's important. And
I'd be proud to wear that jersey.
I would too.
And I got a fantastic story from Tyler. Hopefully I'll share it. If I get in trouble, then I apologize to the St. Louis Blues. But Braden Shen recently had his 1,000th game. He actually marked his own 1,000 his skates he wore for that game, marked them himself, and wanted to keep them. You don't always hear that often of players thinking about their gear or their jerseys that much that they marked it themselves. So it's just those kind of cool things to know. Okay, some players do relish that or do think about that more than maybe we realize. But it's been a fantastic discussion. I know we're going to drag some more people in before we get out of here today, but I know this is a one-day show, but it's been building up and it's just so much fun. We still have a long way to go. But Monica, thank you again, you and Paul, for coming out here. I'm so happy when you guys said you were flying out, and
I love you guys.
So many times,
know it, right?
Yes, we love you too.
Yes, so many times after a podcast, we get done recording and still be on Zoom talking, and Paul's like, "Let me check the flights tonight." And then finally he said, "Yep, I got them booked," and we knew you guys were coming out. And I told Karen, I'm like, "Paul and Monica are coming. You've got to come down." So I'm glad she's here to put up with us. I think I told the story earlier on. If not, I will say it again. Next Thursday, and I've sent out past podcasts, Macadoodles, which is the liquor store down here owned by my friend Mike McKenna, is hosting Ed Belfour for a bottle signing. It is on our 10th wedding anniversary, so she is nice enough to put up with my crap and come with me down here for the bottle the signing, and then I will take her out to a nice dinner. But yeah, to on our anniversary, to put up with me enough to drive 2 hours to get a $80 bottle of bourbon signed by Ed Belfour, who
used to play for the Hawks.
Yes, and in the playing days, the Blues fans would just scream and yell and flip him off and do everything possible when he was here. But he puts out good bourbon now, so what can I say?
What can we say?
But thank you both for coming on. I know makes good putting a microphone in people's hands always makes people nervous, but it's fun. And I hope everybody is enjoying this. Again, put comments on as you listen to see what you tell us what you think. But we'll get a bunch more collectors on here before we wrap this day up. It is the Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast live from the Expo in St. Louis for the Frozen Four. We are back, and this time with a first-time Expo person. John, you're a fairly new collector. Just started. I talked to you a little bit ago, but what year did you get started collecting?
I'd probably say, I think my first jersey was a Bortuzzo, with the 100-year patch. I think it was 16, 17.
Yep.
Around there, that would be my first jersey that I picked up.
Now, did you buy it through the team, or did you find it on Facebook or something like that? You bought it?
Fortunately enough, I actually found it through the Blues for Kids auction text messages.
Yeah.
So
that gets dangerous.
That is very, very dangerous.
So, I guess, did you know previous to that game worn jerseys and stuff were a hobby or were really readily available?
No. My first actual piece of equipment would be what was a Ryan Reeves stick that I had bought, and then found out that they were doing a signing, and I got that signed. And then through just social media and Facebook, I wound up finding out that you can actually buy jerseys, and I was like, oh, let's look into this. And luckily enough, I wound up buying or winning the Bortuzzo jersey, and then just kind of going on from there. And then my collection just kind of unfolded.
Now it's an addiction.
It is now it's an addiction. Yeah.
Welcome to the
a healthy
club.
addiction, but it's
yes.
addiction.
So what is your and you've got a very wide range of stuff, which is awesome. What's your favorite piece?
That's hard to say. You always got to love your first jersey you go with. But Parayko is the guy I collect, and Ryan Reeves. So I'd probably have to say, if I was going to go with a couple of them, I'd go with my Ryan Reeves Rangers jersey, and then probably my Parayko Winter Classic from 2022.
Good choices, and you got a Vegas Reeves over there too, and all of those jerseys are so sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever he's gone, he's just been super popular. So
yeah,
he's
been really
tough
hard
to get no matter where he goes too.
True. I've was looking for a Penguins jersey, which he only played a couple games there.
Mm-hmm.
One guy reached out to me and said he had one, but that's super rare. And then you got Toronto as well too. But yeah, he's very hard to pick up.
Yeah, and when you start talking to people on the rarity and short terms, then you find out what some of those go for too, especially if they're a popular player.
Yeah.
Trying to pry those sometimes from collectors' hands is
a
little crazy. So as you picked up jerseys and stuff, did you start finding the hobby sites on Facebook and that?
I did. Reached out to listen to the podcast, stuff like that, and then reaching out to Wade and different things and find out different, because at first it was Blues, and then I was kind of like my goal would be to have jersey from every team that a Blues player played for. So trying to find out just different jerseys and where to get different players and stuff like that. So social media and everything.
But and once you found out that we did expos like this, and again, awesome. Thank you for coming out and showing off your collection and that. I mean, did you think that there might be get-togethers like what this is?
I mean, there's expos for everything, so I would assume that there's a game worn one, and then just following the game worn page, and then Wade, you guys putting this together a couple of years ago, and I've been meaning to come, but work gets in the way, life gets in the way, stuff like that.
Funny how life does that.
Yeah. So once I found out that they were doing this one, I was like, "What's a smaller one?" But I'd like to come to my first one, get my toes wet a little bit, kind of just see and experience it, talk to a couple people, and then we plan to attend the one in October, which is a little bigger. Just looking around, see what's out there, looking for something to buy, add to the collection, and just kind of meet new people.
And walking around the room the first night, were you surprised at the kind of things you're seeing in here?
Yeah, it's actually, there's people just like me that were like, we want different jerseys, like variety, not just Blues. There's some old stuff that is probably before my time and before I started watching hockey that's cool to see and everything like that. Just the collection of, I guess, people and their collection of just how much stuff. And then when you look into it, you're like, well, that guy's got a bigger collection over there. And there's just some of the stuff they have. Like Wade's got some phenomenal stuff and stuff. And you try it. Hey, what's for sale? And he's like, not for sale. So it's just,
and that's some guys. That's how some guys are, and totally good with that is, hey, I pick it up. I bring it to show it off. I'm not going to move anything. Fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
And coming to an expo with your collection doesn't mean you have to sell any of it. And I've had other people bring theirs. Yep, I'm not selling a thing. And then somebody makes them the right offer for something, and you see a jersey leave their collection, which is, I mean, however you want to show off your stuff, that's great.
Yeah, that's the reason why we came, was just to show it off. I've had a couple people ask, how much is this? Unfortunately, it's not for sale. I basically came out here just to display my collection and see what else is around, and that's about it. And like I said, meet new people.
Yeah, and that's the cool part is like, I had some people ask about the Snuggeroo jersey I have. Is, hey, is it for sale? I'm like, yeah, and for the right price. I don't have a price attached to it. Make me an offer. They were texting with their daughter somewhere else, who's a huge Snuggeroo person, and we're trying to decide if they were gonna give me an offer on it.
Phenomenal jersey.
Like, hey, I said,
fantastic.
The worst, worst I can say is no. I don't ever knock people, because you show me the right amount of money, I'll consider anything. I mean, it's not very few things I will just not move.
Right.
And I saw you made stop by the Rinkside Reserve table as well, and they've been a partner with us now for a few years, which is awesome that they bring out a little bit more things, and every year they mix up what they have, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can stop and see them at games, but they rated their closets of a good mix of different things. Who'd you end up picking up? I saw you walk away with a stick.
I want to pick up a Buchnevich stick.
Okay.
But it's very nice to come out and, be able to see some of the stuff, and them support the hobby as well too, and get a little more different stuff that, you don't see on the auctions, or just the extra stuff they have laying around.
Yeah, and I know they're whenever we make the playoffs, and then in the next handful of games, they're gearing up for that. And then just around the corner, if you've never been, you probably aware of it, but the summer sale, the equipment sale, and stuff the Blues do. So that gets all of us out that lined up early. Wade and I go very early ahead of time and get lined up. And it's not even like last year. Him and I both went out with expectations of not really getting anything. We had nothing on a list, and we stayed from the time they opened it for season ticket holders to the time they closed it, catching up with people who were running through. We found a few random things, but we both went with zero expectations, and just because it's fun to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's nice when my wallet's hurt not as much.
That's very true.
If there's any one Blues jersey you could own, who would it be?
I really don't have a specific one. Like I said, I just started watching hockey a couple years ago, so there's nothing that would be specific I would ask for. If it's one jersey that will, like, someone's like, hey, I have this for you, it'd probably be Parayko, Stanley Cup game worn jersey, which is, I'm sure, every Blues dream to have is a game worn Stanley Cup jersey, but I would probably go with a Parayko one.
Nice. Now, what got you watching hockey started a few years ago?
It's more of just, I started watching it, and I started watching it and liking the physicality of it. Like, my number one person was Ryan Reeves, who everybody knows.
Yeah, pretty physical.
Yeah, very physical guy, very, and then just kind of watching over time, and then the skill level, just seeing what people can do with the puck. Like you mentioned to me that you play and stuff like that, and it's just crazy that the hands and the agility and, just what
I wish I had any of those things. But no, you're absolutely right. You go watch what those guys can do with the puck, how they can do it, and just the crazy things with the sticks, and that is, I wish I could do any of that.
Yeah, I was watching Arizona game one night, just threw it on. They weren't playing the Blues, but just wanted to watch some hockey, and wound up Cale Makar.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic defenseman. Just slid right through into the slot and just shot one. And I was like, that's just ridiculous how his hands work. Connor McDavid's another one who's got phenomenal speed and everything like that. So it's just more from the physicality and the hitting to just what people could do on the ice. And I think it's amazing.
And that's awesome, because you don't hear, especially as usually, oh yeah, I got into hockey because I watched it. My dad watched it, got me growing up, or I played it for a bit, whatever it was. But you sound like you started much later into that, which is awesome. And then to go from that to collecting in a very short order. But no, you have a phenomenal collection, and it's awesome that you reached out to Wade to be able to show off at an expo. And now that you've done the first one, I know you already said you want to do the one in the fall. Do you ever think you'd travel to a different city to do one?
I would love to. I hear you guys talk on the podcast how San Jose has a nice one, and I've seen Migra have one. They're always out.
That coming up in July.
Yeah, I would love to. work just gets in the way and life gets in the way for
Yeah.
travel and stuff like
That's-
that. But I think it'd be
I've
really
been in
cool
it-
to experience something like that.
Sure, I've been in the hobby for a lot of years and have never been able to make it outside of St. Louis, but that's on my bucket list of one of the big ones: Nova, Migray, San Jose, something. But yeah, go to a different area, bring some of my stuff, which maybe people haven't seen, and see what their local stuff is. It is, but it is just so cool to walk around this room and see such a variety.
I made probably about 3 laps, all the same stuff, but every time I find something different.
Yep. Oh yeah. Just something's hiding or something catches your eye different or whatever. But thank you so much for being willing to pick up a microphone and taking that big leap in your first expo as well. And
Thanks
hope
for having
you
me
have
on.
a
I really
fantastic
appreciate
day.
it. Yeah. This was
Awesome.
fun.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
you.
it. Well, he's been standing around collecting a lot of money and has a nice corner table with some great stuff. Tyler from Rinkside Reserve with the St. Louis Blues here. Last fall we had Nick on, so now Tyler gets the microphone and get to talk. How we doing?
I'm great. I appreciate you guys having us out here.
We appreciate the support you give and the willingness that you guys are to bring your stuff. And you brought a lot of really cool pieces. Got some Hofer pads, Binner gloves, a bunch of different sticks, including some Bennington ones, and a good mix of jerseys. You had some vintage, the clown style, as we all like to talk about, the Winter Classic practice jerseys, which are so sharp with that. When I first saw them, I didn't know if I would like that two-tone shoulder. The more I see them, the more I really, really like them. And then some of the Winter Classic issue jerseys. Why don't you tell us the story behind those? Because when you dropped them on the table, everybody's like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
So kind of what's the story with those?
Yeah, for those, I don't have too much in depth for you. So we were bouncing back and forth on which period we'd get from the Winter Classic. There were words that they were first, second, third, whatever we could get. Ended up getting the Winter Classic warm-up photo jerseys. So I guess apparently the team had made up some jerseys for the second period, as there was a rumor that we'd be doing the second period jerseys. Ended up having these jerseys made up and didn't use them. So the team held on to them, ended up giving them back to us to send out to you guys. So they are team issued ones that were made up for the second period of Winter Classic. And they just didn't make it out there for whatever reason and why they were made up. But hey, I'm here to bring them out to the public.
And they're sharp. I picked up one, as several other people have as well, and have a nice 2 written in the fight strap. I was surprised to see a Fanatic set tag in them. But you guys did an amazing job. I know, again, and we talked about this on one of the podcasts, that you guys weren't really happy with getting the photo shoot ones. Again, not at your choice made by others, but the amazingly well done set stamps put in them kind of as a consolation thing. And I think you guys knocked them out of the park. And the boxes, we talked about how the quality of those, the neat brick design from the Wrigley Field and all that kind of stuff. Again, you worked with what you had, and I think you guys did a phenomenal job with them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, my first year here, 7 months in. It's been great. It's been flying by. Came from baseball, so hockey's been great. Big shout out to Nick and the creative team. My boss, Nick, who was on earlier in the podcast, but he really dedicated a lot of time to making sure Winter Classic was special, and that we gave it the special attention it needed for our Authentics collectors. And, we didn't end up getting the jersey sets we would like, ended up with the photo jersey. But we worked with what we could. And I think it turned out well. Everybody was great. Winter Classic was great. I thought all the jerseys turned out well. Like you said, the warm-up jerseys with the two-tone shoulder, I thought they looked great. I really love that light blue color.
Yes, very much
I
so.
think it just pops out, and it's an interesting color to see. But all in all, it's been great. Really just trying to get everything out here to you guys and expand our Authentics realm with Rinkside Reserve and at the games here with GiveSmart and Blues for Kids. So it's really been a great experience.
Yeah, and it's, we all look forward to when the auctions come up or the Friday drops on Rinkside, where Wade and I are especially back and forth 5 minutes after 10 o'clock with a drop. Hey, did you pick up anything? What'd you see? This, and it's funny how many of us communicate back and forth right after those drops happen on Friday or when the auctions come out, hey, who are you going for? I'll make sure to avoid it, whatever. It's just funny how much of that communication happens out there. So this show is, you were at the October show and saw it was, say, a little bit more blues focused and stuff. And what do you think about with this being such more of a wide range one? What are some of the surprise things you've seen?
Absolutely. I think for this one, there's a lot of college stuff, which is awesome with the Frozen Four in town. We've seen some college fans who are in town for the Frozen Four, which has been awesome. The amount of people who have showed up to the city of St. Louis for this event shows. Whether you're driving down the city and just looking at the sidewalks, you can see people from all over, different schools, not even schools that are playing per se, but just different schools that have come here to enjoy the event. It's brought a lot to the city, and it's perfect that we have this expo going on right here at this time for people to come in. I've seen so many Boston jerseys, different things. Wade over here has some Lindenwood jerseys I saw.
Yeah, the nice local thing, and just getting boosted up to Division I.
Absolutely, yep. Anyone who doesn't know, Lindenwood is one of our local colleges here. Has picked up its hockey program in the recent years, so that's awesome to see. And to see the Authentics realm, even with Lindenwood, is fantastic in the Authentics business. So it's been great. The people here have been fantastic. Like I said, I've been back originally from Southern Illinois. Spent the last 3 years in Pittsburgh with the Pirates doing Authentics for them, and it was a great experience. Got to experience the Skeens Mania. Definitely something I won't forget. But being back home here in St. Louis, getting able to do it for the hometown team, and really grow this thing that was set up. And that was one thing I stressed to Nick when I first met him, was he set up a great program. It really came down to having the time and dedication to fulfill what it can do. And that's what I'm here to do. So really showing face, coming out to these events. So really appreciate you guys inviting us out here. I know Rinkside Reserve is an official affiliate with the Blues, which is amazing. But at the end of the day, we want to make those connections with our fans and our authentic collectors. Those are the people that keep us doing what we do, and we enjoy doing it.
And it means a lot, because when things, if say auctions get posted or things like that, we can reach out if we have questions. Say, hey, I see this, or what about this thing? You guys always get back to us and give us more information if you have it, or you can look into it. It's all those kind of things, and it like I said, it really does mean a lot that you guys believe in this enough to want to come out. I know you're having to give up your Saturday. Could have been doing any number of things with your wife or whatever else, but it does. It means a lot that you're here. And I'm glad you've had a good time. You and I've done a ton of chatting today, and it's nice to it not just be a business, as we've gotten to know each other and just share stories and things. And it shows that how much both you and Nick care about not just selling the jerseys, but what it means for us to get them, the quality of it, all that you guys do. And again, thank you for coming out here, and thanks to just the support you've given us, and we'll continue to give you, and we visit with you at games, and hopefully continue to get more people hooked on some. I had somebody that stopped in here earlier today, had seen your table, but wasn't sure how to get on the auctions. I walked through on their phone how to go do that, so then they can watch those auctions going forward and spend a whole bunch of money like I do.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, is Authentics for the St. Louis Blues is rather new, within the last 6 years, really, and it's something that's still growing. We have Blues for Kids, which is our charity. Give Smart Blues, you can Google that and it'll pop up for our auction there, and you can sign up for the text to get notifications. All that money goes to charities, whether we partner with another charity or it's for our Blues for Kids. That's something that I've really enjoyed being here in St. Louis. In Pittsburgh, Authentics was a profit business. It had its own section. So money didn't go to charity like it does here. And so for me, it's definitely more of a something to be prideful about, that this money goes back to the city of St. Louis. And the people here deserve the best quality stuff, and to make sure that they get that and they're happy, and the kids of the city and the less fortunate are happy. It doesn't get much better than that. So going back to this, we really appreciate you guys inviting us out to these. Back in October was great. Being here myself this time has been great. You guys are more than friendly. It's great to come out here. This is my kind of thing. This is my kind of people. I couldn't tell you, it's been a great experience. I don't know what else I'd be doing today, other than hanging out with you guys and, talking some sports. So I'll tell you, to get to do this for a living, I'm blessed.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, and we've talked about the times you guys put in and the hard work, and I could not even imagine it. But again, thank you so much for all this, and anybody that wants to check out rinksidereserve.com. Another way to get to the GiveSmart is if you scroll all the way to the bottom of their page, there's a link to it there. So if you need to sign up or whatever, go right through there. But every Friday at 10 a.m., you guys do a drop of some kind via either pucks, jerseys, equipment, whatever it is, and it's always cool. Albeit if I'm at work, I'm refreshing the screen to see what pops up. Don't even wait for the email. Just go find what dropped and decide if I need to add that to my collection or
Exactly. So that's the beauty of it too, is all this stuff goes to community for way cheaper than what you get it at retail price, and all that excess money goes to charity. So we're doing a win-win for the city of St. Louis and the people who know about it. So the biggest thing is just to stay up to date on Rinkside Reserve as new equipment comes out, used equipment comes out, all of which will be at a discounted price compared to retail, and it's pro quality equipment. So anyone that loves the sports, in the sport, collects the sport, it's definitely something that you should look into. Is ringsidereserve.com, and then GiveSmartBlues.com or GiveSmart Blues. If you Google that's the best way to pull it up. And then you can sign up on both websites to get your notifications when they drop stuff. I think that's the best thing for now is really just growing this and letting the community know this is the place to come for discounted equipment that's top notch. And the Blues care about the community and growing the sport.
Well, Tyler, thank you again for your time, for all your support. We'll see you again in October.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Thank you. It's been a full day, folks. I thought it would not, or would just feel like it was going on all day. We've blown through the day.
Yeah.
Holy
it's
cow.
been fast.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We
got a
walked
hockey game tonight too. Still,
right.
So.
Yeah.
But we walked in at 8 and just started setting up, and holy crap.
Yeah. It rolled through. It seemed like a good day, and it seemed like everybody had a good time. So thanks to everybody for attending.
A lot of people that showed up off the street or had heard about it from different things and aren't like big collectors or anything, but popped in, which is awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun day, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for attending. Paul and Monica for making the trip. You and your wife for always being so supportive. Fantastic, and for everybody that attended, and that's the whole thing.
Hope everybody loved this, getting to see things a little bit different. It's funny as we're recording, watching people walk by to go across to the bar. They're in the camera, so you may recognize a lot of people if you didn't talk to. But
the bar was a popular thing this year.
Right. Well, we need to team up at the hotel bar in October. Team up with them a little bit more and say,
but
hey.
I think I've already talked to them here. What we're going to do, I think next year is on Friday night. We're going to come here for dinner in the sports page.
Yeah.
And have like a little get together. So.
Thank you for them. The bartender, she's been awesome.
Yeah.
My old fashioned with their own distilled bourbon was phenomenal.
Yeah.
All their food, everything. They have been great hosts. And again, thank you to you for finding such a fun and cool space. I know everybody's enjoyed it.
I said it earlier. The biggest part of our hobby is the relationships, which we talk about a lot, and then just getting out here and like listen to people study jerseys and enjoy the hobby and do the whole thing. It's what it's about. So I'm fortunate to be a part of it.
Fun. We'll enjoy a great game tonight.
And we'll see you next week.
Go Broncos.
Right.
Go Broncos. Yeah.
Yes. And I hope you and Monica have a safe trip back to San Jose. I say we'll be posting this show this week, and there will not be one Thursday night because of me coming down here to see Ed Belfour, and won't be back in time to record. But then we'll be back on the regular schedule, as it were, as we get the teams into the playoffs and that, if the Blues would ever get that finalized. But we're right there. So it's playoff hockey time, and start monitoring for equipment sale time, all that good stuff. So gentlemen, it's been awesome to hang out this weekend. Justin, of course, we do miss you. We miss Mitch and Clifford and all the guys that weren't able to make it to this show. Hopefully we'll see you all in October. And you enjoyed the podcast, again, like, subscribe, all that stuff that we ask you to do. Share it with friends. I even talked to Wade's friend who I even talked to Wade's friend who listens to podcasts within the collector, and said he's had other people at work said, "Oh, you listen to Wade's thing again?"
Yeah.
So
great.
But the compliments that we've gotten on the show, and we were joking in between recordings about how we do try to keep the language to the minimum, just because we don't want to be. So many people just like to throw out language on podcasts. Yeah, we may say the occasional word, but we want it so it's at least family friendly and enjoyable, and people just go, God, all they do is drop the F-bomb in between every word. No, it's about this hobby. And again, thank you for everybody who's come out, even the people that reached out today saying, hey, hope you guys had a good show. Loving seeing the pictures Wade posted, questions on jerseys,
we love this
wherever it
effing
was.
hobby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but again,
Thank you, Wade.
but it's been great, and I hope you at least got to have a few Dr. Peppers. I haven't seen what you've been drinking.
Dr. Pepper. I had Coke today. I'm surviving on Coke, but it was a good time. So,
but
thanks
again,
again.
Thanks all, and we'll see you guys next week with another fun discussion of auctions and all whatever's going on in the hobby that week. We'll see you later. Just wanted to make a quick wrap up before we finally cut this together and post a podcast you've just listened to. Want to thank everybody who came out to Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville for this year's Frozen Four Expo. The turnout was great. We had, as you heard John in the interview earlier, new collector got into it and decided to have a table. We've had a lot of people show up that had not seen it before. The event was phenomenal. On top of that, the experience of going to the Frozen Four game, the Frozen Four finals between Western Michigan and Boston University. Holy crap. And I've been to a lot of hockey games at different levels, championship games and minor league stuff, and then some of the Blues playoff games. I have never, ever heard the Enterprise Arena that loud. Getting there and walking through the concourse and just seeing the volume and the different styles of jerseys that are there, regardless if they were teams that were even in the Frozen Four. I mean, I couldn't tell you list all the teams. Everyone was probably represented somewhere. Getting into the seats, and getting stuff fired up. You had the bands from both teams up in the upper deck, going back and forth, playing at different times. The energy in the arena, just everything about it was phenomenal. So if you've got one of these close, when they start getting into that, if you haven't gone, I highly suggest it. Both my wife and I have never been to one, and it was just a crazy experience. Watching the seconds countdown, Western Michigan just chuck all their gear into the air. It's a freaking garage sale. I'll try and actually post that video on our Facebook page because it's just crazy to watch. And then my wife, myself, Paul, Monica, Jay, Derek, and a few others hung around to watch all the ceremony stuff at the end. We were right behind the opposite goal, kind of where they were celebrating, doing some at center ice, and a lot of Western Michigan fans down that way. Then they circled the entire ice, came down by us, and all the guys are jumping on the glass, just smashing the glass stuff. It was so cool to be in there and just watch something like that. And again, I had no skin in the game for either team, but of course, being from the Midwest, ended up rooting for Western Michigan. Plus, Paul and Monica and all pretty much everybody was headed that direction. So I figured couldn't be the odd man out. But listening to fans, because there were both Boston and Western Michigan fans in where we were seating. Both in the first period, we were up in the upper deck, and then some seats opened up by Paul and Monica, so we came down there for the second and third. Everybody was phenomenal. I mean, there was the making fun back and forth, but nothing inappropriate, nothing rude, nasty. People weren't throwing stuff at each other. It was so much fun. But again, thanks to Wade and Paul for working on this again. And Wade worked his butt off to find the place, to talk to the bar owner, the card shop owner that was across the hall also, and the food and everything was there. I know we're looking this October, excuse me, to do a dinner Friday night over there with everybody that's coming into town. So if you're thinking about coming in October, which is 17th, I'm sorry, 18th, 19th, which 17th would be the Friday, and then 18, 19, Saturday, Sunday for the expo itself. Get that on your calendar now, because it's going to be a fun, exciting weekend, and so many people that stopped out. We had a person stop into the show who had heard our podcast, knew who a few of us were. I said, "Hey, I bought this off eBay. Is this real?" And it was a Blues team stock Adidas made in Canada jersey. He just wanted to make sure. I think he said he spent around 150 for it, which was right in the ballpark of what those are going for right now. I was like, "Yep." And we pulled it. He pulled out a bag. I showed him the tag, Adidas tag, the white one that hangs on the sleeve. We flipped it inside out, showed him all the inside tagging, went over every reason why this blank was a true team made in Canada jersey, and just little things like that. And it's helping the new people that are getting into this or kind of have an interest in it, just help them understand that we are here. We're not a scary group of people, but again, for all the people that came far and wide, thank you. For the people that reached out, seeing the pictures and things like that, asking questions about stuff, or just giving the support, and who couldn't make it, we did definitely miss you, and hopefully we'll catch you the next one. Hope you enjoyed the interviews and things that we did at the expo. Please comment, all that kind of stuff. If you have questions, or if you saw things in the video or heard stuff, you want to reach out, whatever. Again, if you also want to come on in future episodes, let Wade, Paul know. We can definitely get you on. But again, thanks for all the support. Hope you enjoyed the expo one. Like I said, I said earlier on in recordings, this will be the one for this week. We'll be back at our normal schedule next Thursday. And I'm off to see Ed Belfour on this Thursday night. Hopefully I'll have some pictures. I'll make sure I post up on the page as well. But thank you guys for all the support. We'll talk to you again soon.